right away.
Yep, that's a good route. I like doing the Link's house starting point to check the items. Oh, and we're off.
Yeah, both runners start at Sanctuary and find 10 arrows. Tairr immediately stays and quits, while Kova is heading out. We'll see which way he goes.
10 arrows is always helpful. And 20 rupees in Link's house.
Yeah, you called it. Meanwhile, Kova46 going for the Houlihan strat.
And it looks like Tairr is going to farm for some bombs.
Yep, two 50-50 bomb bushes right south of the grove here. Pretty good option to start out with.
Got on the first try.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to try for a couple more, though.
Got one.
And he might get enough for Kakariko, which, given how often the race game has something worthwhile in Keysanity, that takes the count up to 4.
Yep, Kova getting the 20 rupees from Link's house. And looks like we're going to have a maze game check. And just 20 rupees.
So Kova is making use of the shop here by the Lake Hylia, and he can also get a nice view of the island there. So he scouted out the island. We'll see where he goes with these 10 bombs.
It looks like just 3 bombs in the library, so don't need to worry about that. Just a piece of heart behind the bar.
It does look like Kova's going for the South High Kakariko route to start with.
That's a safe play considering how often something is in a maze game. You can check that coming from Link's house after already doing Sanctuary.
Yep, absolutely. So, question in chat: GT Big Key on pedestal. You know, it's always a possibility. We'll probably get 1 or 2 throughout this tournament just because of how many races there are. But I think it's I want to see something even trollier sometimes. Like, if the GT Big Key's on the pedestal, you'll probably find out pretty soon.
And yes, that did look like that was silvers on the island. Magic mushroom.
Saw the top of it, so I wasn't 100% sure, but it very well could be.
Unless I'm mistaken, that was our first key find. It was a key to Castle Tower.
When that's your first key, you always are thinking, are we going to go that way, Seed? Is that the way we're going to go? Agaseed and Keysanity.
I don't mind finding that key early just because that opens up another spot to check.
It does. It does let you check both chests in Aga Tower.
We got the mitts.
Yeah, we have a nice glove find in
Gloves.
Blind's house, so that opens up the back of Escape, and also Zora.
The burrito to Skullwoods.
And the bottle vendor also has a key to Castle Tower.
Now that really makes you think that it's an Aga required seed.
Yeah, we still need at least a sword, a lamp, and another sword or the cape. So not quite there yet, but it's closer than it was.
So we get the Lost Woods check, see what's up there. I apparently missed that. I guess Tairr on the bottle vendor, giving him that second key.
Yeah, a very appropriate reaction.
And a small key to Ice Palace.
Yeah, it can make your routing in there a little bit easier, and it might be required by the logic, but not really the small key you're looking for.
No, not at all. And it looks like we're getting the back of escape check. The first key to Dark Palace.
So that's there's 6 of those in total, and we should probably expect to see a few more before we're done here.
Getting the dam check. See what we find when we drain the water.
Yeah, heading to the South Shore is a good play. There's 2 items here at the dam, and then you have 5 mini Mold Room Cave, and if you choose to, you have the Ice Rod Cave as well.
It would be a high risk doing Moldorm Cave with this, considering you only have 8 bombs and it's the only thing that does damage.
Yeah, usually you can get it done with you know, the equipment they have, but there are times when those Moldorms just do not cooperate.
They are appropriately nicknamed Trolldorm and a burrito. The burrito to Tower of Hera. We might have our first map check to see what Tower of Hera is.
Yeah, if you're new to Keysanity, the dungeon maps that you collect as you collect other items show you what crystal and/or pendant your dungeons are. So in this case, if we did a map check, we wouldn't be able to tell what desert and eastern are, but Hera would now show up because we found the map to Hera.
Brilliant use of the bombs by Tairr. And a burrito to Swamp Palace.
Yep,
and the key to Tower of Hera, the small key.
Yeah, so we're getting items, but not a whole lot of progression yet. So it's looking like possibly the Eastern Palace area, whether it's Sarhashala's hut or Eastern Palace itself, might have what we're looking for.
Another possibility is the first chest of escape.
Very true. Neither of our runners went to the Uncle, and also the first chest is in Logic in Escape. The other ones you can get to, but not necessarily what the seed intends you to do quite yet.
Correct. See Kova going with the bomb strat, which kind of have to do. And hook shot.
So, hookshot makes me think, man, there's got to be Death Mountain access around here somewhere. They can sequence break up there, but I wouldn't want to risk leaving the flute behind somewhere out here. So that's probably either the flute or the lamp is the likely next item they're going to find to lead them forward.
It has to be. Or, actually, if Seed wants to be trolly, it could be Titan's Mitts.
It could be.
Because then that'll make you think, oh, do I have to find the Moon Pearl? Just a compass. Nothing spectacular. There's the lamp.
Yeah, so that does put all of Light Death Mountain in the logic, the Paradox Cave and the Mini Moldorm Cave. Also, well, not quite yet. They can't quite make use of that Hera basement key. They need either the mirror or the hammer.
That is correct, and that tells me we will find Mirror Hammer late, because that's how Randomizer works. We have first chest of escape. Check. As Kova has skipped the escape and Uncle to go to Sarashaha.
Yeah, and worth pointing out that Tairr only has 2 bombs left. So he actually needs 3 to get past the next chest, the key from the second key guard. So he looks to be farming some guards right now with those pots. Unfortunately, not getting a bomb drop.
And I did not see what was in Sarasha's hut, unfortunately.
I, too, was looking at Tairr for farming, so hopefully our tracker... I don't see anything new on the tracker, so probably not important.
Good job with the first guard getting the bomb. Or killing with the bomb. And a small key to Ganon's tower.
Yep, and that ends Tairr's route for now. With that 1 bomb, he just can't get that key off that key guard.
Just arrow capacity upgrade of the first chest of Eastern. And I don't think we mentioned it, but I think Tairr showed us that the stunned enemy drop was a heart.
Yeah, he was testing it out to see if he could luck out and get some bombs from that, but alas, it was not meant to be.
And just a piece of heart from the hookshot chest, as I call it. Small key to Ganon's tower, bomb capacity upgrade, and a key to Thieves Town. That small key to Thieves Town is great. That seems to been a trolley item so far this tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. That's an item you love to see early.
Great use of RNG from Kova to control the skeletons.
It looks like Tairr's just trying to farm a few bombs from the 50-50 rock here.
Not a bad play considering they do not have any weapon besides bombs right now. Well,
Yeah,
a weapon that can...
Yeah, I think he might be thinking about, Zora might be a play here he has to make soon too, so he doesn't really want to spend his money on bombs at this point.
Smart play and brilliant darkroom from Kova right now. Kova seems to be having a little trouble getting out of the key room.
He makes it through.
Yeah, that 50-50 was not on his side today.
Nah, he got lucky with the ones at the start, but that right there, I think the luck took a turn.
And Pegasus boots in the Eastern Palace big key chest.
Yeah, and because we know the lamp's available, that's not a sequence break based on what we know. So he will be getting his lamp shortly, and when he does, he'll he'll be in sequence, and he'll know that those boots, whatever's behind them, is probably what he's supposed to do as well.
Probably make buying some more bombs. Just bomb capacity upgrade from the old man.
And he's making his way to the front of Escape, so he'll be getting his lamp soon.
Small key on Spectacle Rock. That's a good bit of info. And I didn't catch what was inside Spectacle Rock.
No, I didn't quite catch it either, but he's moving on, so it must not have been too important.
Finally, some bombs. They only have one shot at this bomb jump if they don't find bombs in any of the chests.
Yeah, you can always just go outside, but it does take a little bit longer to do that route.
Big key to darkness and half magic.
Yeah, that's a good start to Paradox Cave. And he does get some bombs, as well as a lot of money.
The flippers.
So the flippers does open up 4 more items, plus it does make the Zora item a lot easier to get to.
That it does.
So
going to Eastern and getting the boots would make Zora a lot easier, because then you could just run around the edge and swim around the little rock to the waterfall.
Yeah, but speaking of those boots, unless there's like an early required progression behind them, I'm not sure when Tairr's going to actually get back there, because he was in Sir Hashula's hut and he elected to leave.
I wonder if leaving because of Dark Mountain, or the Death Mountain access, because it had more items.
Yeah, very well could be. We're about to get our first look at the chest in Zelda's cell. So we'll see if what Tairr had to leave behind because he ran out of his bombs.
I wonder if Kova will set up a death warp, since they have the what's the lamp? They could do the sewer chest.
Yeah, taking a death warp would be a pretty good idea. He didn't kill this guard, so he probably, yeah, he's planning to use this guard. Smart play, stunned the guard, and then went back after he woke up.
Confirm Silver's on the island. And now we can check the hobo. And the Swamp Palace big key. Now, did they find the a small key to Swamp Palace?
I do not believe they found it yet. And Kova finds the fighter sword in the dark room in Escape. So Tairr, because he left, he didn't set up a death warp. That's another place that he's missing a sword and boots that were nearby, but he just couldn't get to.
No, but let's hope he goes back because there's some key items he's missing. Well, there's his sword. Along with Quake. I did not catch what was in Bonk Cave. With 20 rupees on the Zora's ledge.
Yeah, and Kova's actually checking the Lumberjack Cave now. Given that they have both keys and the lamp, now they have one sword. And we know Master Sword, Master Sword's available.
And this is looking like Aga's going to be required, or the game wants you to think Aga's required.
Yeah, we still don't have a Moon Pearl, but that could very well be on the pyramid.
This is correct.
We still have Agahnim's cave to check. We haven't seen that yet.
Is that where Tairr's heading?
He might be actually fake flippering. Or no, he has regular flippers. Never mind. He's just going to go turn in the mushroom.
That's a smart play.
Yeah, it is slightly faster to use that portal to get up here.
Especially when you don't have the boots.
But we are certainly running out of progression locations, so if we find the Moon Pearl, it might be worth heading to Agate. Oh, there's a cave too. I don't know. You'd only need one of the two, but it always seems like you get both Master Sword and Cape when Aga is required. I don't know why that
is.
Happens.
Tairr gonna head to? Oh, Tairr's heading to Aga Tower without checking Eastern.
He might be checking the dark sewer chest, and he might also go back to Zelda's cell, but we'll have to see.
Okay, we're getting a sewer chest check. That's better.
Yeah, so this will give him a Master Sword, but it would probably will be a hint to him that okay, we're going to Aga, aren't we?
Kova collecting the flippers. Yes, the Sonic sprite is really nice.
So Tairr was going to save and quit. Now he's death warping, so he might just be going to do the tower now.
Yeah, I think we can now assume that Aga's required because we have no Moon Pearl and no Titan's Mitts or Hammer to get to Dark World.
Yeah, it looks like he's heading towards the chest in Zelda's cell, but after that, he does have Eastern, we've mentioned, and he also has Agahnim's cave. But he's already at the castle.
But we know the two items needed we know none of the two items are needed to get to Dark World are in Eastern, and there's only one spot no one has checked.
Yeah, outside of the tower. I mean, there are two chests in the tower, so it would be pretty funny if they checked everything and then went to Aga Tower, and then it's like, oh, here's the Boom Pearl and the Hammer.
That would be funny. Kova's gonna get the Swamp Palace big key.
Tairr is notably setting up a death warp here.
Nice job setting up a death warp. Now we'll use a bomb. They won't use a bomb because of only 2 of them. They'll just walk into the said guard.
Yeah, so the only reason he would be setting up a death warp is to at least check the chest in Aga Tower. We'll have to see if he continues on, depending on what's in there.
Kova getting Quake and the Master Sword. I'd say unless you get the Hammer and Moon Pearl, just go ahead and do.
I think, given that he's here already, it's a smart play to continue on. But you know, he does have Eastern Palace, and he also has Agahnim's Cave. I'm not sure what he's thinking. If he is okay with doing Aga and finding out later it's not required, or just wants to go ahead.
That's the thing. It could still be at Lumberjack Cave. No one checked that.
Yeah, especially with those early boots. It certainly could be required progression there. Even the Moon Pearl.
Just the map to Hyrule Castle.
And he is continuing on, so this is a good call on his part.
And we're heading to the desert now. Oh, what if the desert has the book?
Yeah, I mean, it would open up a few spots. Does seem more and more likely that Agahnim is required, but you could get strung along for quite a while.
Oh yeah, there could be Mire in here, and that gives Hera access. Thank you for that. And just a piece of heart.
So I'm thinking, now the more that I think about it, we didn't see Lumberjack Cave. We got the early boots. I'm thinking the Moon Pearl is hiding over there, not on the pyramid.
That could be a huge possibility. Which would probably make the Titan's Mitts or the hammer on the pyramid.
Well, they do have that hook shot and the gloves, and the flippers for that matter, so they can get all the way over to the Village of Outcasts. So I'm sure they would love to get a more consistent way to get to the Dark World. It could troll them for a little while if the siege played out that way.
I'll point out that we have the wrong tracker. We have the open mode tracker.
Yeah, I think that's currently what they are using on Link to Past Randomizer channels. I was looking at a race yesterday, so I'm not sure if that's going to be updated in the future, but right now we're tracking the items and we're talking about the keys.
Okay. I did not know that. You learn something new every day.
And I think Cove is out of options at this point, so no surprise that he's here at Aga Tower.
Yeah, I think we've now come to the conclusion Aga's required, but how trolly is it going to be?
They don't have Moon Pearl. It could be on the pyramid, or it could be in Lumberjack Cave. Neither runner checked it.
For Tairr's sake, I hope it's not at the Lumberjack Cave.
Yeah, he'd be a little bit behind, but at the same time, he kind of is funneled into just a couple spots to check, so he won't be too long before he found it. And he'd probably be happy to know that he would be finding the boots pretty soon.
And just a heart container on the pyramid.
So right now he's probably not very happy, but he'll be happy once he finds his boots, I think.
I just realized Moon Pearl could also not be at the Lumberjack Cave. Moon Pearl can be in Hera, and Lumberjack Cave has the Mire.
Yeah, Lumberjack Cave could have Light World progression for sure. It could have the mirror, it could have the book.
Yeah, the Valera Bunny was nice. I like all the people who designed these sprites do an amazing job. Oh, and Kova takes a death, unfortunately. They have turned in the mushroom. I think they just got. Do you remember what they got from the witches?
Yeah, it was the cape.
Boots were in Big Key Chest in Eastern Palace. Giving the old man a nice present of a bomb. Always a good gift.
Yeah, I suppose a hammer could be in Lumberjack Cave too, and then that would give you Hera access as well. So hammer, mirror, book, anything that gives you more to do in the light world. It could be a bottle. A bottle would be pretty funny.
A bottle to the shovel, a shovel to the book, a book to the mirror, mirror to the Moon Pearl.
I mean, at that point, I don't think the run I think the run's exhausted itself as far as what could possibly happen.
Yeah, but it's possible.
Oh, it
runners might
absolutely
cry,
is.
but it's possible. I'll take your word for it because I have not played Sonic Spinball. And Tairr going through Eastern Palace, eventually finding the boots.
Yep, and Kova will probably be a little bit confused at first when he gets to the pyramid. He never checked Lumberjack Cave, but that'll be the one and only location available to him, so I don't think it'll take him that long to get there.
Hopefully not. Yeah, that sounds fun. 20 laps around Hyrule, seeing 99 bottles of potion on the wall.
Yeah, sounds like a fun time.
And I think this was a 3-cycle Agahnim, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I wasn't counting the first time. I'll try to pay closer attention.
I don't remember Tairr missing any of the electric balls.
Yeah, so we're up to 1 blue ball so far.
I think we only need 2 more and Agahnim's down, if I count it correctly.
You are correct. That makes 3. Alright, so 3 blue balls. That's, I think, average. So, perfectly
Not bad.
average Agahnim fight.
Tairr about to collect his boots. I like how Sonic turns into Mario in the Dark World.
Yeah, and our runners are going to be pretty much in sync at this point.
It will all depend if Tairr checks the, Yep, Tairr checked this cave, so they should sync up. And it was just the Misery Mire compass. All right, is it the Mire? Is it the Moon Pearl? What will it be?
It's the book. Oh, man.
Well, we're going on a tour of Hyrule, everyone. Buckle up.
That's pretty amazing.
Quick Draw asked Seed why, and the Seed was saying, "Are you not entertained?" Yeah, our runners are about as synced as you can get without being completely synced.
Yeah, this has been crazy so far. They took very different routes, but here they are, opening Desert Palace after doing Agate Tower. This is just a very interesting seed. And
now,
this
will
is actually,
the Moon Pearl be in here, is the question.
that's a very good question. It could be Mire. It could be Hammer.
There's the Moon Pearl.
You can definitely see Tairr's NMG experience coming into play in Desert. His dash lines are really good. You know,
Kova
really
taking a depth in the small key
movement.
room. No, that's the compass room, or is that the map? Compass or map room, one of the two.
Yeah, I think that's the compass because, well, no, I have no clue.
And Kova now getting the Moon Pearl.
Oh, that was the Swamp Palace small key. So very interesting. We still need the mirror before we can take advantage of that, and hopefully the hammer.
Yeah, hammer's kind of important. And we're finally in the Dark World. And able to do something. We've been in the Dark World before.
And Tairr looks to be putting that hook shot to good use. He might check Catfish first. Yeah, it looks like that's what he's doing.
At this point, I would, because Catfish is completely out of the way of everything. Especially when you've done Witches with the Mushroom and checked Zora area. And don't have the mirror.
Yeah, in Keysanity, I am a big advocate of checking things that open up early. So this is definitely a good check. And you're in the area and you have boots, so it's never going to be a better time.
And what will Catfish give us? And we have just a heart container. Oh, it was the Sank heart too, so that's nice for our runners.
Yeah, pretty nice as far as heart container goes. I'm sure they were hoping for progression, but you know, good consolation.
our runners can actually get the item in a bumper cave, so it's a possibility that that has something important.
Yeah, there are quite a few items available. They do have 5 items in Skullwoods, I believe, plus 4 in Thieves Town, the 3 in the Village of Outcasts, Digging Games, Stump Kid, and Hype Cave. So
Just a compass and the bumper cave, so that will be skipped.
yeah, somewhere along this route, there's got to be something.
And it looks like we're hopping into Skullwoods to see what it has in store for us. Just bombs in the first chest. Yes, a very trolly and healthy seed. Oh, that's a great find.
Yeah, and kind of backwards in Keysanity, they have the small key, but they don't have the hammer. So I still expect our runners to go in there and clear the 7 items they can, but it's kind of like a more standard seed where you're going to have that big chest because you didn't have the hammer.
All the health going around. I am, like I said, I'm not sure. Apparently not. I have not heard too much about Version 29 yet, but I hope they get that fixed, and I believe they're working on it.
Yeah, there is a Keysanity specific pod soft lock that did incur earlier today. I'm sure it's from the way I understand the way it works, it will be a very simple tweak to the logic, but it's something that they still need to do.
I didn't, and it looks like there was a bottle in the last chest they could check in Skullwoods.
Yeah, there was, and Kova did not go to that chest, so it's unlikely that that's the only bottle they'll have access to, but you never know.
That could end up being a very nice skip for Kova.
Yeah, it really depends on what the sick kid has.
And I think they only need the fire rod to beat Skullwoods. I think they have enough small keys. I can't remember exactly.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but it looks like both of them are heading into Thieves Town at the same time. Some more sync.
There's the Eastern Palace big key. We're just a bow away from beating that. And I believe they already found at least one Ganon's Tower big or small key, so that's taken care of. Total Rock Compass. And 50 rupees, so not anything spectacular.
Yeah, the front half doesn't isn't paying out, but we still have 3 chests we can get to. Well, 3 items we can get to in the back. So we'll have to see. It looks like both of them are heading that way.
Kova getting the cape prepared for this room, which is a very smart move. This room can be very trolly, you could say.
Yeah, sure can. There is the God Pixel, but that's hard to get, and sometimes it doesn't even work for you anyway.
Yeah, Plandos are something else entirely. There's the Titan's mitts.
So that's a great find. Opens up 6 items on East Death Mountain. Obviously opens up the quest sequence here with the Smith.
That it does, but without the mirror, it becomes a very long sequence.
Yes, it does. So the pod soft lock that was mentioned in chat, the way it works is, or the way it happens, I suppose, is the only location in pod that is set to be locked behind 6 keys in the Keysanity logic is King Helmasaur. The Dark Maze, the Harmless Hellway, and the Vanilla Big Key chest are all in the logic set to be behind 5 keys. What this means is if you go to King Helmasaur, spend a key, and you spend keys on all your other 4 keys you have on other doors, and the one you don't open has required progression that leads to the 6th key, you're going to be soft locked.
And we're getting our first dungeon boss fight. Now the question is, will we get our first crystal, or will it be a pendant?
Just keep in mind, this is a very rare situation. You know, we'll keep, they're working on fixing it. You know, there's no reason to assume that a seed is soft locked until anything happens.
That is a good tip, Apollo.
Yes, there are ways
and there's
to
the
check
mirror.
pod. So we got mitts and mirror. Very nice.
And a crystal.
So that gives quite a bit of access on Death Mountain now too. We do have access to Hera with the Master Sword and Ether, or book. We have Ether tablet as well as Bombo's tablet.
Let's see what the sick kid has for us. The shovel. Yes, the thieves did steal the mirror. That was not very nice of them. Anyway, let's see if Digging Game is kind to our runners. That was 20 digs, I believe.
Yeah, and the sync continues here.
See if our good friends, the Breadsmith, have anything good to share. Yes, the hammer yump might come in handy.
Yep. If you never open
The flute.
Wow. If you never open the door to the dark maze, you cannot get soft locked in pod. So yes, hammer yump, very handy. So we were just strung along linear progression for a long time. Now we have mitts, mirror, and flute. So we do have one medallion. It's possible that we can get into Mire. We do have East Dark Death Mountain.
Our runners have choices. Something they're not used to in this seed. You'll get it, Orange Nova. Bomb jumping's not hard once you see how it's done. And they're both taking the purple chest on the tour of the Dark World, which is always a smart play, especially when you haven't checked anything.
Tairr did a quick hop on the ledge, but by doing that, he actually left his chest behind. And now we have the Cane of Samaria. So, yeah, I don't know if we got the Mire Big Key yet. I can't recall, but it seems like we're putting together a Mire kit like right away.
Felix is right. Bomb jumps are never required, but they do save a lot of time. All right, let's check the digging, or let's check the dig spot. And just 20 rupees, so skipping the bottle will not come back to haunt Kova.
Yeah, ultimately, it might save him some time, depending on, where all these new items take him.
Exactly. Ingest a shield in the cave formerly known as Hype.
Yeah, that's kind of an anomaly. In Keysanity mode, Hype Cave usually has something good. Just not today, though.
Well, you could say a shield is good because it gives you a little extra defense. Especially in Randomizer, where you have no idea which direction you're gonna go.
I don't know. I think Tairr might even have the like eat his shield. We'll see if he does that. He has been known to do that in the past.
And we're getting our first tablet check.
And that's exactly what Tairr is doing. There he lost his shield.
Nice.
Mission accomplished. And Kova is jumping into Swamp Palace. They can check 2 chests, and it's a real big pain to get back here since they only have the Titan's bits. So a lot of options just opened up. Maybe not the highest item density, but if something's here, it could pay off huge.
This is definitely a high risk, high reward play right here.
Looks like Tairr is making the play on Dark Death Mountain. Pretty standard play at this point.
And there's the Tempered Sword.
Yeah, Tempered Sword, it might actually make it up all the time he's losing on this check if there's nothing else here.
And that's the second key to Dark Palace.
Yeah, that check might end up working out for him, actually. Looks like he might be working his way over towards Pod.
Oh, we're good. We're collecting the silver arrows.
Ah, yeah, it's good choice. Good choice.
And it looked like that was just the key to Turtle Rock at the other tablet.
So we do have the basement key here for Hera. We don't yet have the big key. But Kova's going to the Mire area, so good checks. You got Mire Shed, Checkerboard Cave, and possibly Mire itself.
Yeah, we're really starting to see our runners diverge a bit, which is always... And the hammer's in Tower of Hera.
Yep. And the big key for Tower of Hera is in the Mire Shed. Oh, man, that's actually great for Kova, because now he might just go there next.
I don't know, he might go into Mire.
It is Quake for Mire, so he can get 6 chests in there. Unless they have the big key, and they can technically full clear it. But I don't remember seeing that particular big key.
I don't either, but who knows? They might have found it. Another key to Dark Palace. 3 down, 3 to go. And it looks like that's what the play is.
Yeah, I like this play from Kova. When you come back in with the big key, you don't have to hit any switches, and you can just go right to the right when you come in to check the big chest, and then go straight back to the boss. So you do have to come back to where you are right now and do the first 2 rooms again, but a revisit of Mire is actually not as costly as people seem to think.
Oh, not at all.
And I mean, we have 6 items here that are completely in logic. You can route together pretty easily, so not a bad check.
No, I did not see what was in the basement of Hera.
All I saw was Tairr's reaction, which would lead me to believe that it wasn't worth it.
That's good news. No, it looks like we might have a Turtle Rock check, see what it's required and what will be in Hookshot Cave.
Yeah, and Kova just found Bombos, which actually opens up Ice Palace now.
That might be bad news for Kova, considering we know what's in.
And it's also Turtle Rock access. Yeah, so we'll have to see what he decides to do. It wouldn't surprise me to see him go to Death Mountain next, even with Ice Palace opening up a bit, because he does not yet have the hammer.
So far, nothing spectacular in Hookshot Cave. Compass to Ganon's Tower. Small key to Turtle Rock. And just a piece of heart and some rupees for Tairr.
So Tairr is running out of things he can do on the mountain. I think he might do a Spike Cave check to finish off here.
Spike Cave is never a bad check, especially with half magic and a cape. And the bow in Big Key Chest in Mire.
That's a really nice find. And there's one of the Mire small keys for Tairr. Wow. So the items are just coming from all the places right now.
From what Kova's doing, I wonder if they have the big key.
I think they're coming back for this one chest, so it doesn't look like they do.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he thought he had a small key to get in the other door, but now, yeah. Oh, Desert Palace. He could actually check that right away.
Yeah, that's not a bad spot. And Tairr now checking Swamp. Because Tairr can actually complete Swamp now.
Yes, very true. So this is definitely makes a lot of sense for him. I even think they have the big key so they can get all 10. So Mystery Mire big key in the right side of desert. That seems about right. But now Kova can easily go right back in and finish it. He has a bow and silver arrows, so I don't see why he wouldn't. Lamp, cane, bow, silver arrows. It's going to be a pretty quick finish. And likewise, since the Misery Mire big key is blocked behind Misery Mire, we'll have to see how long it takes Tairr to go there. He might still run out of options pretty soon, given that Bombos is in here as well.
Yeah, but I mean that looks out for Kova.
Yeah, absolutely. This route, it was a good choice when it came in here, and it's always good when a good choice gets rewarded. Not that Tairr made a bad choice whatsoever. He got some value out of Death Mountain, and obviously now he's in Swamp Palace because of it.
But the question is, did Kova budget the keys right? Because currently there's no key available.
Yeah, he can go up to the top left. He can't go to the boss from the right here, but he can use the left portal and get there.
Fair enough. Yeah, this seed has them going every which way. And finding the bow should make quick work of Vitreous, too.
Yep, exactly. I don't know if... I guess our runners did talk to the... did they talk to the bomb shop guy? I can't remember.
I don't believe so, no.
I think we're still trying to figure out what our runners actually need to do in this seed.
Oh, not only just finding the bow help, remember, Kova went and got silvers, too.
Yep, he has silvers, and interestingly, I hope he makes it up to Death Mountain before he goes to Pod, but that hammer only blocks one item in Pod, and now he has, you know, the bow. I think he's up to like 4 of the small keys, possibly. So hopefully he doesn't go there before going to Hera, but it's probably looking pretty attractive to him.
Only three keys for Pod right now.
And that looked like the fire rod on the left side of Swamp.
That's a nice find. And a vanilla heart from Vitreous. Now, if I remember the map correctly, I think I saw this was Crystal 2.
Yeah, I believe so. So we do know that Ice Palace is a crystal.
Now, where's Kova gonna go? And Death Mountain. Oh, yeah, Death Mountain.
Yeah, so we know this is the play he needs to make. Looks like he's opting to do right side first, but hopefully he goes and does Hera afterwards.
He could step into Turtle Rock, because we know it's Bombos.
He does need to get the hammer out of Hera first.
Oh, that is correct.
But after he finishes Hera, it very well could happen. And we did have the powder in Swamp Palace, so another good find. It's a fetch quest, but it's also a very handy safety item.
Extremely handy. Tairr making quick work of Argus.
Yeah, it looked like he got a few poke dashes in there, but had to abandon that strategy. We'll see if Tairr remembers to grab his silvers after this.
And down goes Argus. Another small key to Turtle Rock. I think that brings our runners up to 3 or 2.
I think that's at least the third that we've seen. There was one on Ether Tablet. I'm trying to think where the other one was, but I think that's the third. Tairr only has 2, but Kova might have another one.
There may have been one in Mire, now that I think about it.
Yeah, Kova has one already, and now he's going to get one from Ether Tablet.
Tairr going for the silvers.
Oh, okay. Kova's getting the small key from Spectacle Rock, and then probably going into Hera.
Smart play, to be honest.
Yeah, getting that either before or after, both good choices.
Kova acquiring the hammer.
And what's really nice for Kova there is he got that just about, 10 or 15 minutes after it was logically available, but he didn't waste any time. Sometimes, like, if you're searching for that hammer, you can have, like, a lot of backtracking and all sorts of bad things going on, but instead, he went and found the bow and finished a crystal dungeon, so that's pretty productive.
It's always nice when that happens that way. You don't find the item you're looking for, but you find other items that let you do something else.
Yeah, it certainly doesn't happen often, but it's a good luck and good find for him. Good routing too. He does have to go back into Swamp, but he did have Tempered Sword for all of Mire and all of Hera, so he probably is going to gain back a little bit of that time he lost.
And he doesn't have to go back to Death Mountain. That's probably, especially now that they have the hammer, a bigger time waste than having to go back to Swamp.
Yeah, we'll have to see when our runners converge, where they are relative to one another. It's pretty difficult to tell right now.
All right, looks like we'll be getting to see if this is a crystal or... Did we see if this is crystal or... This is crystal.
Yep, this is a red crystal, yep.
So I think that means either Turtle Rock, Eastern, or Pod is the other pendant dungeon.
I don't think we know Desert either.
Yeah, you're right.
But yeah, there's there's 4 that we don't know yet, and one of those is a pendant, 3 of them are crystals.
Kova going for the spike cave check.
Yes, it's checking Spike Cave here. It will not really have him in a good spot to check Turtle Rock, but he did just get the hammer, and he might just go and make that Swamp play.
Because after Swamp, he will have a complete axe, or he will have the Fire Rod to do Ice Palace.
Yeah, it's much easier to do Ice Palace with the Fire Rod than it is with the Bombos Medallion, so he might opt to go that way.
Let's see where Kova goes.
Tairr is making some pretty quick work of Mire here.
Okay, Kova went and refilled on the health. Always a good strategy.
So
Oh, it looks like we have an Ice Palace play.
Yeah, he's probably thinking this is a crystal, swamp's a pendant. They're both in logic, so let's go with the Ice Palace play. Makes a lot of sense. We do know that the Fire Rod is in Swamp Palace, so unless Turtle Rock ends up being the last pendant, he will need to go in there eventually.
This is true. And the missed timing on the first Bombos play, that always stinks.
Yeah, you jump the gun and you have to sit through the 8-second animation and you have nothing to show for it.
I wonder if Tairr will check to see what Eastern Palace is.
I think that was a pendant, but that was a very quick map check.
I was just saying, I thought that was a crystal, so I guess Tairr knows what it is.
So we didn't know, but I just caught on Kova's menu that they have crystals 5 and 6. So I'm guessing the other one was Mire? Because I think if it was Thieves Town, Tairr would have done the Pyramid Fairy after he finished Swamp Palace. So this is interesting. Kova does not have the big key, and he's opting not to bomb jump.
Nice penguin room from Kova.
Very nice. There are 6 items they can get without the big key. If you want to go kill Coldstare, though, you have to do the bomb jump unless you have the big key. So I'm not sure what their plan is, but it is an interesting choice not to bomb jump there.
Could be for item check more than anything. Burrito the Thieves. Always useful. And the Burrito of Dark Palace.
Yeah, so not all that much value out of Ice Palace so far. So you want the bomb burst, not the bombs, Kova.
Don't you love when you do that?
Yeah, I've definitely done the exact same thing before. I'm thinking, okay, bombos, and then all of a sudden I'm looking and I have bombs equipped. It's like your mind on autopilot doesn't always do what you want it to do.
Not at all. Oh, and a nice bomb jump from Kova.
Yeah, this is a nice bomb jump to can definitely save you some time. It's definitely easier to get to the iced tea room going this way than it is the other way. But only if you can successfully complete the bomb jump.
And all that for a red rupee.
Yeah, so we got the 6 items that he can get without bomb jumping and without the big key. So it looks like he's done for now. There's a potential that the item in the big chest doesn't matter whatsoever, so he could have avoided a revisit if he would have bomb jumped and then killed Cold Stare, but in the event that there is a required item in the big chest, he would have to come back here anyway.
And it looks like both our runners are going to do Dark Palace. Oh, we have a Sarashaha check. And just the Ganon Tower map.
Yeah, not a whole lot of value from Sarashala. Oh, that's probably a mistake by Kova. He mirrored right before Kiki could open the door. I think he wanted to do that right after, but just mistimed it.
Luckily, they don't need rupees anymore, so they don't add. They have 1,000 rupees anyway, so that didn't matter. Our runners are basically synced again. Only a couple rooms apart.
Yeah, even with Eastern being a pendant, I don't mind this play. You got the big key, you have 2 items here, and you're in the area anyway for pod.
Another Ganon Tower small key, which you always want to see.
And yeah, our runners are a room apart.
Unless I'm mistaken, our runners still have not found the Ganon Tower big key.
No, not yet. That can certainly troll a little bit.
And mistimed the red Cyclops. That's okay, with silvers, that's not a huge time loss.
Both of them had 2 cycle on the red Igor, so not too bad. No time loss relative to your opponent. So it just turned out to be a bottle. Not the greatest haul from coming back in here, but at least it's something you can mark off as done and not worth coming back to.
It's not just a bottle, it's a bottle that has a B in it.
Well, that's true.
And now the fun in Dark Palace begins. It looks like they have 4 keys.
Yeah, Tairr picked up a 4th. I don't know if Kova got that. It might have been in Spawn Palace. We'll have to see once he walks in.
That would make sense.
Yeah, but 4 is the magic number if you have bow and hammer, because you can do everything here if you can hammer jump.
I was just about to ask, is 4 or 3 the magic number?
This 4 will let him get every single chest in here if he routes it a certain way. Now, he will have to go through this right side a bunch of times, which is a little bit annoying.
But it can end up being a time save if you don't want to go searching for keys.
Absolutely.
And the red mail. And there's the Ice Palace Big Key.
Yeah, Kova's about 5 seconds away from getting that, and he's probably going to rage a little bit.
And no reaction. I was wondering if he was going to leave the treasure chest a nice little present.
Yeah, just getting on with business.
Nice bonk jump there.
It looks like Tairr intends to do exactly what I said, which is clear this, going through the right side each time, clearing out what you can. He'll have to make 3 whole trips through this area, I believe. A little bit of a pain, but he can get it all done.
There's the ice rod.
Yeah, and another Turtle Rock small key.
They're now you can beat Turtle Rock with 3 keys, but you have to skip the big key chest, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, you absolutely can. You have to steal the key, but you can get through with 3 small keys. Kova has been avoiding Swamp Palace, and since we know Turtle Rock is a crystal, he does need to get to the left side of Swamp eventually to find that fire rod. Hopefully he gets there before he dives into Turtle Rock.
Yes, because that'll be an unfortunate time if he does not venture there, but it looks like we're setting up a hammer yump. Nicely done.
Yep, just a small key for Hyrule Castle in that chest, but well, 10 arrows in the next one. Not a lot of value in this section so far.
But it saves a key.
It definitely does, and that's very important.
Now here's the question. Will Kova go straight to Helmasaur? Or will...
I don't think he will, given the whole possibility of soft locking. I think he'll go and check the last 2 items and knows that he needs a 4th key. The other possibility that you could opt to do is just not even check anything else while you're here, and just hope that you get enter go mode and you still have that 1 small key left. Both are valid options. I think it's definitely smart
and
to
it looks
not
like
go
that's
to
the play.
It looks like he might be going to Helmasaur. Little worried, but we know he can find a pod small key pretty easily. So, and we also know there's nothing in the first 2 chests, so it's not going to be a big deal in this seed. But you do this at your own risk.
I think leaving 2 doors locked puts the soft lock concerns a little bit at ease, in my opinion, at least.
Right, so we know he has 3 keys left that he can find. One of them could potentially at this point be locked behind an item that is in one of those locations, but we know that that's not the case. So no worries here. It'll be fine, and we'll just have to see if he ever comes back for the last items.
But this should be a relatively easy Helmasaur fight.
Tairr, meanwhile, is just right on his heels, having gotten all of the items here. So he has no more business in this end of the world. He's done Pod, Eastern, Sirhashila, Green Pendant. He won't be back over here in this seed.
Oh, not at all. Obviously, Kova might come back, but we know Kova doesn't have to come back. And nice Helmasaur fight.
Tairr getting trolled a little bit by his sword beams. And so both of our runners will now have 3 crystals. Tairr is up a pendant, and we know that maybe the pendant itself is not required, but...
No, Kova has 4 crystals. Remember, Kova beat,
You're right.
Moldorm.
Kova did do Tower of Hera. So Kova is up the climb on Tower of Hera, but Tairr is up Swamp Palace and the Fire Rod. So we'll have to see. Kova is coming back in for the chest you can drop down into. This is a chest that you are tempted to leave behind because it's a lot of work for one chest when you're doing it this way. However, it's one of the first chests to open up in the logic, so it's pretty risky to do that, to just leave it behind. I agree with checking it.
It is definitely a smart play. Where's Tairr going to go from here? Obviously, the smart play would be Death Mountain, which is where Tairr going to Ice Palace.
Yeah, he has now the big key for Ice Palace, so he can do everything here. He doesn't have to bomb jump unless he is so confident that he can be faster with the bomb jumps than just using the cane. Like, this is going to be a quick 8 items for him, and we will see what Kova left behind here. And Kova's right behind him, so Kova will have a little bit faster time because he has less checks to do, but not as much as Kova would like. Tairr is definitely going to gain time in Ice Palace just because of the double dip.
Exactly. True. It's going to be relatively quick, but yeah, Desert Big Key would be the thing to find here.
Yeah, we're getting to the point where, you know, there's just a couple things left that they need to find. They do need the Turtle Rock Big Key and the Desert Big Key.
And the Ganon's Tower Big Key.
Right. The Ganon's Tower Big Key is the one that you have to make some tough decisions on. If it's getting close to the end of the seed, you know, going to Ganon's Tower first is rarely a bad idea. It's just... it also doesn't work out a decent percentage of the time.
We can still keep the dream alive. There is a chance that Ganon's Tower Big Key is at the pedestal.
Yeah, we have not had a pedestal check, so we have no idea what's there. Our runners already have... Well, Tairr has 2 pendants, and Kova has 1. It's definitely possible.
Tairr getting the bomb jump on the second attempt, I believe. Kova forgetting to step on the switch and then bonking off the wall in the wrong direction, but got the job done. And any of the big keys could be on the pedestal.
That is a very good point.
You know, they still can check the big the big chest in a Thieves Town.
That is true. We have not yet seen that. They did not have the opportunity the first time. And a lot of times people say, oh, they had a forced double dip in Thieves Town, and it really isn't true. Like, they just went in there without the hammer or something, and they could have avoided it. Now, this was a forced double dip if the Thieves Town big chest has something they need, because the Mire was in there and the hammer was in Hera, so that's about as forced as you can get.
And a nice cold stare fight from Kova. For just a piece of heart, but it gave a full heart container, which does save a few seconds on the animation. Now, will Kova go to Swamp? Or will they go to, back to Village of Outcasts?
I just hope they don't go to Death Mountain.
Sick kid check.
Yeah, very, very good idea. Just got that bottle not too long ago.
Which will send him on a digging game.
It does appear as if he may be going for Thieves Town. Nope, he's going past it. So
Peg Cave.
Hammer Peg Cave. Yep, good idea.
I don't think... Did Tairr check this?
This is our first check, I believe.
It's a big key.
It is.
The Turtle Rock big key.
Oh, that's pretty huge. That's a location that is probably one of the last places Tairr will look for it. Although Tairr is running out of locations to look for things, so...
But Peg Cave is an easy spot to forget, too.
Yep, it definitely is.
Based on getting the magic, we might be heading to Turtle Rock, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm thinking that. Tairr, meanwhile, had a really nice cold stare fight, and we're down to his 4th crystal.
Now let's see where Tairr goes from here.
He is going to Village of Outcasts.
Now, is that for the Peg Cave, or is that for Thieves Town?
It could also be Skull Wood since he has the fire rod, and that would let him pull the pedestal. That would be a little funny, but and it does look like we're seeing the Turtle Rock play from Kova. So we know there's not a forced double dip, but Kova will have to double dip Turtle Rock. Tairr is checking the Thieves Town big chest.
It'll be interesting to see if that is an item. If that's the desert big key, that might put him away from Peg Cave.
Yeah, he is right here, so I would assume he's going to check that regardless, but it very well could. Yeah, we'll see. We are getting close to Crystal Go mode, I suppose we could call it.
It'll be interesting to see how long Kova stays in Death Mountain and Turtle Rock.
Tairr was being very stubborn about the God Pixel, but he had a good dash in the end.
The Desert Palace big key. This might pay off for Kova.
Yeah, it's a forced double dip to Death Mountain, so at the very least, you know, he has that. He will be checking more chests here, maybe than Tairr, although if the Ganon Tower big key doesn't show up, Tairr will probably check all the chests here anyway, so maybe not as bad of an outcome as you might have thought.
And Tairr is checking the Peg Cave, so good news for him. Tairr getting his Turtle Rock big key. Powder's that's a good call. Powder's a good check here as well.
So I think Kova did, since he used a key on the center door, I think there was one key in Swamp Palace, so Kova will actually need that key as well when he finally makes his way to Swamp.
Swamp will have to be the play after Desert, so... And Tairr making the Turtle Rock play, which we know now is a smart play to get the Desert Palace big key.
Yeah, he'll have everything he needs to get all the crystals as soon as he opens that chest. So it'll be interesting to see if he goes directly to Ganon's Tower or if he tries to clean things up that might come along the way. For instance, Skull Woods has 2 more items plus the pedestal behind it.
And it looks like Kova's going to check the last chest that they can look at before they will have to warp out back to Desert.
They do have one more small key, so they can make it to Laser Bridge. They just can't make it to Trinix.
That could be, or it could be, it'll be interesting to see if they do Desert first or do, if Tairr will do Desert first or Hera first, because you could also do Desert first and finish off with Hera, because it's right there.
Yeah, since he'll have everything he needs to get the crystals, it really doesn't matter what order he does it in. So, yeah, he very well could go do desert first. I expect him to check all the chests in either case, looking for that big key for Ganon's Tower. But the order doesn't really matter all that much.
There's the Ganon's Tower big T.
Right there. All right, so that's kind of bad for Kova, actually, because now we know Tairr is going to enter Go mode the moment he hits Laser Bridge.
Which, Laser Bridge is not the worst place to hit Go mode. Especially in Keysanity.
Not at all.
There's another Dark Palace key.
So Kova's going to need to get a small key for Turtle Rock and the Fire Rod out of Swamp Palace. But first, he's almost certainly going to go do Desert Palace.
And the good news for Kova is he knows that the Fire Rod is not the pedestal.
Yeah, that's true. Tairr's having a little bit of difficulty with the Chain Chomp room here today. Being a little bit trolly on him.
Made it through, that's all that matters. Should be relatively quick Moldorm fight for Kova. And just 20 rupees in the big chest.
I suppose the good news for Kova is that I think, well, I guess it depends on how he routes it. If he goes to the back of Swamp first, he will find the Fire Rod as like one of his last items. But if he goes for the full clear, he could enter Go mode without having to do the back of Swamp.
Yeah, that's the decision that should that'll affect the run the most in his favor. Yeah, that was some skill there from Tairr. I don't know if you saw that. 4 fairies from 1 powder.
Yeah, pretty nice. Pretty nice.
Kova almost forgetting the small key. Tairr just getting the piece of heart from the Mimic Cave. Kova having a little trouble lining up the arrows for Land Mole. And down goes Land Mole.
Yep, so we'll have to see what Kova decides to do now. I mean, he's been avoiding Swamp Palace like the plague for the entire seed, but I hope that that's the next play he makes.
That's the most logical play.
Yeah, he did not check the Thieves Town Big Chest yet. I'm hoping he doesn't go there.
Also did not check the 1 chest in Swamp Palace. Or not Swamp, Skull Woods.
Oh, that's true. He left that one chest behind, and he fluted to 3, so that's a little bit concerning.
Checking King's Tomb, maybe?
Ah, yeah, I don't think they ever checked King's Tomb.
And just 10 arrows from King's Tomb. And Tairr is officially in go mode.
Yep, so he has 2 really easy light world dungeons to finish, plus a try next fight here, and then go straight up the tower in Ganon's tower. So lots of things to mark off, but they're gonna go fairly quickly.
Looked like Tairr was having a little trouble getting the switches to work in his favor. Now it looks like Kova's heading to Swamp.
Yeah, finally making the play. How he routes this will certainly determine what the deficit
Nice
is.
try next fight from Tairr.
Yep, very very clean boss fight.
Now, will Tairr go to Desert, or will Tairr go to Hera first?
I suspect that he will go to Desert first, but I could be wrong.
That's what I would do, but I'm not Tairr. It looks like with the flute, that is where he's heading. And it's next room that'll decide everything for Kova. Okay, Kova, what are you going to do? North side or west side? Tairr already getting ready for both strats for Land Mole. South, we knew he was doing south first. Oh?
So we will get his fire rod here. I'm not sure where that turtle rod key actually was, so...
Yeah, that's the question. If he gets a fire rod, he could head back to Skull Woods.
And Tairr's already making his way back up the Tower of Hera. The Lambo kill is very fast.
Especially with Silver. Silver's makes anything a joke, so that's not saying much. There's Kova's fire rod. Okay, Kova not leaving the dungeon yet.
So now we have to try to remember exactly where that Turtle Rock small key is that he missed.
Did Argus drop it? Or was it in the flooded 2-chest room?
So notably, Tairr did not lose his fire shield. Didn't take the time to get rid of that.
Well, at this point, Tairr has to be wondering, where's my opponent? There's the powder and a piece of heart. And unfortunately for Kova, it was a Argus boss drop.
I'm wondering if it was possibly Batcave. I don't know.
I don't... Was it powder? I don't think it was powder. Yeah, I hope for Kova's sake it was Argus.
Yeah, me too. Unfortunately for Kova, Tairr is entering Ganon's Tower now. He has a big key, and he'll be making short work going up the gauntlet.
There's that Turtle Rock key. And Kova celebrating appropriately. Good work controlling those mimics from Tairr. Tairr making quick work of the early part of Ganon's tower.
Yeah, coming up on the gauntlet. Meanwhile, Kova is reclimbing Death Mountain, but still has a go mode Turtle Rock ahead of him.
Which isn't the worst thing for Kova, but as we know, too little, too late. fairly decent gauntlet from Tairr.
Just was off a little bit on the timing with the silver arrows, so just resorted to using his tempered sword.
Yeah, but overall, it was a good land mole fight. Nice Wizrobe room right there. And a good follow-up.
Yeah, these rooms have been going pretty quick for Tairr. You know, he just has a few more rooms to go, and then he'll be at Mold Room 2, Aga 2, and on to Ganon.
It's fairly straightforward from here. Not that I think it matters, but remember, or did Kova go and get magic? Medicine of magic and health?
I know he's been to this shop, I think twice, but I don't know what he currently has.
But Tairr got the refill there anyway, so it shouldn't really matter. In quick work of Moldorm 2.
You know, when you never have to open a single chest in Ganon's Tower, that's a good feeling.
Oh, that's an amazing feeling.
0 out of 27.
Let's see how friendly the RNG is to Tairr. A double right there. Good start. Two singles, 2 more hits, and Aga 2 goes down. Meanwhile, Kova making quick work of Trinex.
Yeah, Kova's going to pretty much be Ganon's Tower climb away.
And a great Trinex from Kova as well. Let's see what Ganon has to say. That was
always
interesting.
Informative, that Ganon.
I never knew you could learn so much from the King of Darkness. Tairr using the spin strats. And we're already in the 3rd phase. Just as Kova's entering Ganon's Tower. They did find the arrows. Tairr got the torch glitch. And meanwhile, Kova's having a little trouble in the Mimic Room, but gets through it. And GG to Tairr.
Yep, Tairr finishes with an official SRL time of 2:05:41 in first place.
GG to Tairr. Meanwhile, Kova having a pretty good gauntlet. Nice shot with the arrow. Oh, and that first silver arrow shot was just off. How about those two weren't?
Yeah, nice fight.
Good use of Samaria there. Kova entering the final approach of Ganon's tower. And we are joined by Tairr. GG, Tairr. Kova missing the first bomb throw, but got it on the second chance. Can you hear me, Tairr?
So, hello.
Hello, hello. GG.
GG.
Thanks.
What'd you think of that seed?
Was okay.
The early game was a little bit interesting with how you had to do Aga Tower to get the book.
Yeah. I didn't even know the book was there.
Well, neither you or Kova checked the lumberjack tree. You both just went there blind.
Yeah, it was really linear for a while there, and then it kind of opened up a bit, and you guys took some different choices, and yours certainly worked out a little bit better.
Okay.
At the divergence, you went to Swamp, I believe, first, and Kova went to Mire.
Okay. What was in Swamp again?
You found the fire rod in there, and the second, or the one of the final, what ended up being Kova's final Turtle Rock key.
Oh, okay.
And apparently the pedestal had a bottle, so it's a good thing no one blind pulled that. Meanwhile,
yeah, I was holding the pedestal option open because I did Eastern Palace, as you saw. So if I really needed to go there, I just needed to Star Woods. And then just Mire to there. But luckily I didn't need to go there.
Yeah, lucked out, but that was a good plan ahead. But Kova's entered the Ganon fight. He's entering the second phase, and it looks like he's using the cape to make quick work of the second phase. Yeah, for a while there, you guys were like a screen or two apart, especially right after the Aga 1 fight.
Yeah, Kova actually went into Eastern early and had the boost for a little while, but by the time both of you had done, Aga Tower, you guys were getting your book at about the same time and going to Desert at the same time. It was pretty funny to watch.
And it was nice work by Kova to get the torch glitch. Two hits down, 2 to go, I believe. And that's that. GG Kova. Kova finishing with an official SRL time of 2 hours, 12 minutes, and 5 seconds.
So it was a pretty close race. The big difference probably was that Turtle Rock double dip. That made up a lot of the time difference.
I would have to say that. Yep, that's where the run ultimately split in Tairr's favor. We'll see if we can get Kova in here. Anything would you like to add, Tairr?
No.
All right, we'll see if we can get Kova in here, see if he has anything to say, see what you guys both have to say about what you guys did to each other. Yeah.
I think what was notable about this seed is that it's one of the rare seeds that Aga was required, and it was required prior to actually getting Dark World access. So I don't know if I've seen a Keysanity that not only required Aga, but also made you mess around the Light World for a little while afterwards.
And we're joined by Kova. How you feel, Kova?
Hey, GG. That was pretty good. It was a fun seed to play.
And we're joined by Kova. How you feel, Kova? Yeah, you were both on the same track for a while, and where ultimately split was after you guys got Dark World access. Ultimately, at one point, Tairr went to Swamp, and you went to Mire.
Oh, that was some Mire with the desert key leading to the Mire big key back to Mire.
Yeah.
When I saw that, I was kind of happy, but at the back of my head, I was like, "Oh, are you kidding me? I only have 4 hearts."
But ultimately, your move to go get silvers worked out in your favor for that Vitreous fight.
Oh yeah, if I didn't have silvers there, I would not have done Vitreous.
But ultimately, your move to go get silvers.
I think what really hurt me there was forgetting to do the bomb jump in Ice Palace when I had the big key, and then in Turtle Rock, when I picked up the key, I was gonna skip big key chest altogether, and then just went on autopilot with NMG and opened it.
Well, I forget what was in that chest, but I
It was a fire shield.
Okay. What ultimately? Well, I forget what was did. Like I said, Tairr doing Swamp Palace before Mire is what ultimately. Okay. What saved the run because he didn't double dip Turtle Rock. Did like I said, Tairr doing Swamp Palace.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that really helps.
Ultimately.
Yeah, I don't think Tairr had that many double dips at all, actually.
Turtle Rock.
I think I did a quick dip into Swamp on the way to get those silvers, and ended up finding Tempered, so I was pretty happy about that.
Yeah, he was able to complete Swamp right away, whereas you double dipped because you did the early check.
Yeah, and I didn't have Hammer for a while either. I think that was probably about an hour in after going up to Hera. Did he check Skull Woods or Pedestal at all?
No. The
Okay.
front of Skullwoods I did, but not the back.
All right. Yeah, I didn't check back either. That fire rod was go mode for me pretty much, minus the Turtle Rock key that I had to get. But
Yeah, Pedestal ended up having a bottle.
oh, okay. Yeah, I only found one bottle that seed actually. That was strange. Guessing the other ones are probably in GT somewhere.
There was another bottle in Skull Woods, the switch room. If you know what I'm talking about.
The Gibdo blocking the switch.
Oh, that one. Yeah, that makes sense. I try and avoid that room as much as I can if I don't have Kane. But that was a fun first seed of the tournament, so hopefully we get more like that. The Agahnim isn't too bad, but everything else was pretty kind, I find, especially if Tairr was able to not double dip most of them. That was just poor routing on my end.
It wasn't even poor routing. Like what you did, you found other items that just sent you away from Swamp.
Yeah, when I saw Green Pen and Swamp and an early key, I just did not want to go there. Especially after I opened those first two chests.
Be sure to give both our runners a follow. They did a great job today.
And thanks for commentating, and Skipsy for the restream. Really appreciate it.
And a shout out to our tracker, Dark Falls 1983.
So do either of you have anything else you want to say about the seed or about the race or about the tournament in general?
Just best of luck, I guess. It's a pretty fun seed, so hopefully we get more like that. GG.
GG, I think that is all from us. I think there's other races going on right now, so be sure to check those out. I am Mafia Guido.
Yep, and I'm Korek, and thanks for joining us this evening. I'll let you have the last word, Mafia Guido.
Good night and enjoy the rest of the tournament.